Okay, Reggie. I wanted to get your thoughts on what you thought about the Biggie case being linked to Keefe and the whole Tupac trial, and them handing over the 4,000 documents. Did you see how that happened?
You know what, John? Man? I think I might have to give up this YouTube, so I think I might have to get off, man. I'm scared. I'm scared now that those documents been turned over. Psych. Man, I can give a fuck. Because this is the real, y'all, of what's going on. Oh, John, you just like the rest of the YouTubers. Man, I done seen about 3 or 4 people doing videos like it's going to be breaking news. Tupac and Biggie case is connected. Well, yeah, it's connected because one wouldn't happen if the other one didn't happen. That's the only way it's connected. But, you know, everybody's like, oh, this breaking news, this about to happen. Suge Knight was right when he said, you saw one, you saw the other. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we all thought. Southside had something to do with it, is why people used to run with that. But Suge knew the real. Suge knew the real, it appears, if you believe what I believe about the murder rap findings, what Greg Cadian's found. But, hey, y'all, I hate to bust y'all bubble. But, man, it's just discovery.
Man, shut the fuck up. Ninja, pork butt, you're going to jail. Eventually. You're going to jail. Y'all could report YouTube channels. It doesn't matter what y'all do. At the end of the day, every Tupac fan, every Biggie fan knows you're involved with both Pac and Biggie. Hey, Reg, don't worry. Don't worry. Your day gonna come. That's why you in a fucking wheelchair anyway. That's why you're known as a handicapped YouTuber. And your day will definitely will be there, Reg. You did some hoe ass shit. You keep doing hoe ass shit. You want to play like you worried. You want to play like you're not worried. Hey, listen. It's obvious Keefe D said if anything happens, Keefe D said, listen, way before the handcuffs on him, if I go to jail for Tupac, handcuff Reggie next to me for Biggie, because I know he had his hands involved. Why would he say that if you wasn't involved with Pac also? Somebody got to say, wait a minute, right? It's just a matter of time, Reg. You may think you got away. You could report YouTube channels. It doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, you will always be known as the orchestrator of Tupac and Biggie. The secret recordings that you did with Sharita Knight, it shows you're a scumbag who can't be trusted. If you and Sharita Knight are platooning partners, hey Reg, if you and the boss's ex-wife, do I still got her in the right? Sharita Knight with the scamming ass bitches at, right? Right? Sharita Knight is your partner in crime, your platooning partner. And you and her was in cahoots. Why would you secretly record her? Just because YouTubers said, oh, the new documentary coming out, and Sharita Knight was giving Kevin Gaines some death row checks, or Kevin Gaines was found with some death row checks. First of all, I don't know why the DA hate Tupac so much? Why did DA hate Biggie so much? That they will let a two-timing pig like Reggie be on the grand jury is just fucked up. They so worried about me and Discretion TV, right? Hey, look, man. Right after, by the time I looked around, there's 4,000 pages. Again, I believe before Poole was killed by you, Reg, I believe Poole's theory was right about you. Poole's theory, right before they changed his mind, Poole's theory, he said Sharita Knight, he said Reggie Wright, he said Suge Knight. Matter of fact, Suge said Sharita. Can we go to think I give a fuck about a handicapped YouTuber? This shit is YouTube. Y'all niggas like, y'all niggas is just like, sheesh.
Man, I've been following with great interest. You know, Russell Poole wanted to apologize to you.
Yeah, I heard that, man. He's a good guy. I never lied to him or nobody because, you know, all that stuff, they know who was going on behind all that stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, he couldn't, in his mind, separate you from Death Row Records. And as we were doing the investigation, I said, you have to understand, Russell, that, you know, Mr. Knight was, you know, in the car next to Tupac. I mean, that's not... And then with the Biggie thing, Mr. Knight was in jail. And I met somebody who was in jail with you at the time, and he said it's impossible that he was on a cell phone back then. Impossible.
It's definitely impossible. I mean, the one thing, too, with Tupac, I still got a 45 bullet into my skull. And the thing about it is, they've been knowing all this type of stuff from day one. And that's why he violated me and sent me to prison last time. And the other thing is, for Biggie, son, I'm quite sure if they saw the first one, they would saw the second one, because it's the same circle of people, you know?
I got tapped on the shoulder by one of the cops' daughters that was involved. And she told me, I mean, you know, this isn't conjecture anymore. We know the facts.
Yeah, it's the same people, same circle of people.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with me, you know?
No.
In this exchange between Suge and Michael Carlin, at Kenner,
With the thing the way they wanted, and then he would have got in trouble.
Orlando Anderson thing, man. I mean, it
started Beats by Dre. There have been rumors for years. Suge is
Me getting a violation when I shouldn't have got a violation.
well, that whole Orlando Anderson thing, man, I mean, it was really bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, even when he came in, they put him on stand, and the judge asked me, said, do you know Suge Knight? I said, you don't know Suge Knight. I said, what did he do? The only thing he did was help me and save my life, which I basically did because, you know, Pac was my little brother ain't the #1 artist out on the bond, and if he would have got in trouble, he was going back to prison.
Yeah.
So I know there's cameras everywhere in Vegas because I went to UNLV. They just take us to the top and let us watch. So, you know, I was breaking up saying, cut that bullshit out right in here. But at the same time, they just played with the thing the way they wanted to play with it. And back and watch the film, they was already stalking Pac. They watching him. So that just tipped the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I had two of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled him off of me. It didn't have to happen. I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never said nobody.
Yeah.
And Frank blocked us in purposely. Later he told us at the streets. They told him to do it, you know.
Yeah.
His constant, hey, Frank got so bad he died, you know.
Wait. Hey, Pork Butt. You and Suge are in cahoots so much. Hey, Pork Butt. You and Suge Knight are in cahoots so much. Suge can't even keep the lie straight. My ninja. You and Suge Knight. Between the missing murder weapon, Reggie, I don't know who you think you're talking to on these platforms. Yeah, you might have been in the conspiracy to get rid of Discretion TV. It's all good, motherfucker, you pig. That's why you still in a wheelchair, right? But you and Suge, you ninjas set Pac up. You see, according to Reggie Wright Junior, he was on the phone with Suge Knight and Suge's attorney. And Reggie said, look, Suge, you ain't never tell me to get 5 of my best guards. And according to Reggie, he said, I called him out on it right in front of his attorney. And Suge said, oh, I ain't tell you that? Moving right along, no puff on the replay. In Suge's interview with the podcaster from the Epstein Files, Piers Morgan, in Suge's interview with Piers Morgan, he said he was at the house when he called Reggie for 5 of the best guards. Drop comments below. In the interview with Michael Carlin, when Michael Carlin chopped and screwed and edited it out, what Suge actually said, in that interview, Suge ain't say he was at the house when he asked for the 5 of the best guards. He said send them to the club.
And, see, the thing is, those guys, you know, Pac was
Gone on the record before that Jimmy Iovine stole money.
Orlando Anderson thing, man. I mean, it was really bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, when he came in, they put him on stand, and the judge actually said, you know, Suge Knight said, you don't know Suge Knight. I said, what did he do? The only thing he did was help me and save my life, which I basically did because, you know, Pac was my little brother and the #1 artist out on the bond, and if he would have got in trouble, he was going back to prison.
Yeah.
So I knew it was cameras everywhere in Vegas because I went to UNLV. They tickets to the top of the watch. So, you know, I was breaking up saying, you know, cut that bullshit out right in here. But at the same time, they just played with the thing the way they wanted to play with it. And see, the thing is, those guys, if you go back and watch the film, they was already stalking Pac. They watching him. So that just tipped the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I had two of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled him off of me. It didn't have to happen. I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never said nobody.
Yeah.
And Frank blocked us in.
Nah, this is some hoe ass shit. Remember, Suge started talking when Russell Poole was found unalived. Drop comments below. Suge only started talking when Russell Poole was found unalive. Do I got the actual Piers Morgan interview where we can debunk and point out another lie as we continue on in the countdown to the Keefe Vegas trial? If you're just tapping in, Reggie Wright Junior, he's trying to make a mockery of the 4,000 pages. Not that easy, Reg. You can pretend like you're worried or not. You can pretend like you don't give a shit, right? You can pretend all you want. I grew up not trusting police, and you shouldn't either, Raj. Right? Hold on. I want to debunk this Suge Knight theory. He's a fucking liar. You stole Tupac money, and you and Reggie Wright Junior were in cahoots of getting rid of Pac because of the audit. We own a 30-year audit.
And running him out the hotel.
Hold on.
Everyone looked at me, looked at his performance, and said, yeah.
Hold on. So we're trying to debunk. Oh, we trying to debunk Suge. Hold on.
That Reggie Wright Senior do a bit in New York, and then Reggie Wright Junior and all these people calling these people trying to basically threaten them. The second engineer, and then he started working for Interscope and in the streets because these just a little Pop Warner football.
Go through it in this way. It's like a sort of murder mystery episode. But ultimately, two questions. Do you believe Diddy had anything to do with it? Because it sounds to me like you're more convinced that Snoop Dogg had more to do with it. Was Diddy involved at all, do you think? And if it wasn't him, then who do you think ultimately ordered that hit?
This is the thing. This is what I do know. I know he looking at me. I said, man, since I've been in this prison right here, somebody played that for me with Michael Moore said. So when I know that attorney David Kenner always says, you can be on your cell phone and people be talking.
Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find when Suge was talking about the guards. Hold on. I'm going through the transcript. Hold on. We're going to debunk this Suge Knight 5 of the best guard shit. It's either you told Reggie to get 5 of your best cards at your house, or you told Reggie get 5 of the best guards to meet you at the club. It can't be both. Hold on. I'm glad I caught that shit. Where the fuck? Pac to the... Okay, here we go. Found it.
I told all the security, I can't be taking myself or Tupac, so I'm not going. Here, tell Michael Moore he can't carry his weapon when he's doing bodyguard work for Tupac. Michael Moore said, well, I'm going back to the hotel. If I can't carry my gun, I can't be taking myself or Tupac, so I'm not going. So Reggie Wright Jr., who nicknamed that Pac gave him Pork Butt, so Pork Butt goes and says, Frank, you can go, but you can't bring your gun. Now, everyone knows you can't be a bodyguard without a gun. So after the fight, we come from the fight. Tupac got into it with another guy. It was a big fight. After that fight, after we stopped at a few places, we go to my house. I told Frank, I told all the security, I told everyone, Pac just beat up a well-known game member. Send 4 or 5 guys extra to the house.
To the house. Ha ha. Ha ha.
Everyone. Pac just beat up a well-known game member. Send 4 or 5 guys extra to the house to escort Tupac to the club.
Okay. Right? Now.
They track every market so you know when to make your move. No way. Yes way. Realtor.com tracks local data and
Right.
spots trends so you...
Right.
Now.
And then he got in trouble. He was put him on stand. And the judge asked me, said, do you know Suge Knight? I said, you don't know Suge Knight. I said, what did he do? The only thing he did was help me and save my life. Which I basically did because
was my little brother ain't the #1 artist out on the bond, and if he would have got in trouble, he was going back to prison.
Yeah.
So I knew it was cameras everywhere in Vegas because I went to UNLV. They just take us to the top and let us watch. So, I was breaking up saying, cut that bullshit out right in here. But at the same time, they just played with the thing the way they wanted to play with it. And, see, the thing is, those guys, if you go back and watch the film, they was already stalking Pac, watching him. So that just tipped the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I had two of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled him off of me. It didn't have to happen. I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never said nobody.
Yeah.
And Frank blocked us in.
Drop comments below. He told Michael Carlin right after Poole died, he told Reggie Wright Junior to bring 5 guys at the club.
It tipped the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I had two of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled him off of me. It didn't have to happen. I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never said nobody.
Yeah.
And Frank blocked us in, purposely.
Yo, that shit crazy. Why would he lie? It doesn't even make no sense because all the guards was already at the club, Suge. Suge, you were just freestyling and chatting. There was already guards, police, Compton cops, Compton blood cops, Compton Crip cops, all in 6'6" Deuce, doing Nathan, protecting the cash register that the money was going in Mama James' pockets anyway. Is this shit for real? Again, in this same interview, this is when he threw Perez, Sharita, Reg under the bus. I believe Suge, the fact that we can catch him in a lie and you got to be on point and sharp, no puff on the replay, the fact that he only talked when Poole died. Why you ain't say nothing when Poole was on top of the case? Even when Poole filed a lawsuit, it's just obvious.
It tipped the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I had two of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled him off of me. It didn't have to happen. I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never said nobody.
Yeah.
And Frank blocked us in, purposely. Later he told us at the streets, they told him to do it,
Yeah.
His cops, hey, Frank got so bad he died,
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And Mike Moore.
Yeah. And then, Perez was all involved. They were trying to kill me too, but see, because Perez and Reg was good friends, and Perez and Sarita and Reg is great friends, and so all those 3 together was trying to plot,
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about this. Because during the investigation, again, when Russell Poole was saying, hey, look, I found all this crap in David Mack's house. I found all this nonsense in Mack's house. According to Poole, he found like a Tupac shrine, right? You do a little deep dive. Suge and David Mack, they shared the same attorney under the name Dale Puff, well, Poole, P-U-G-H, right? The same attorney who represented Snoop Dogg represented David Mack, so there is a connection with these attorneys. When you do a little deep dive, when Russell Poole was saying, look, Mack, Perez, they were seen at the death row parties, they were seen at the Peterson, they were seen in Vegas. Suge was quiet. It wasn't until Poole met his demise, it wasn't until Poole took his last breath, then all of a sudden Michael Carlin was able to get that interview in Usher Raymond remix Confession. Where did it get from if you knew who has something to do with unaliving Tupac, will you say something? Absolutely not. That's what Suge said. Okay, he breaks his silence, and now it's a big mystery. Suge, did you or did you not send 5 of your best guards to protect Tupac? And if you did, where did you request these guards to go? Did you ask them to meet you at your house like you told the podcaster in the Epstein files, Pierce Morgan? Was it true? Did you tell the guards to meet you at your house, the mansion in Vegas? Or did you tell the guards to meet you at the club? Which didn't make sense. You broke your silence to Michael Carlin and lied. Why would you tell Michael Carlin that you told Reggie, get 5 of your best guards and meet me at the club? Let's run this back. Do that make sense when there was already guards at the club? Why would you lie?
They was already stalking him, watching him. So that just took the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him. Yeah. And that's why, like I said, I had 2 of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled him off of me. And after that happened, I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never said nobody. Yeah. And Frank blocked his hand.
They just said, they never said nobody.
And Reggie pulled him off of me. And after that happened, I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never said nobody. Yeah. And Frank blocked his hand purposely. Later, he told us to the street.
Naomi loves the sound of earning and saving money on Vinted. Don't wear it, sell it.
Frank, you can go, but you can't bring your gun. Michael Moore, he can't carry his weapon when he's doing bodyguard work for Tupac. Michael Moore said, well, I'm going back to the hotel. If I can't carry my gun, I can't protect myself or Tupac, so I'm not going. So Reggie Wright Junior, who nicknamed that Pac gave him Pork Butt, so Pork Butt goes and says, Frank, you can go, but you can't bring your gun. Now, everyone knows you can't be a bodyguard without a gun. So after the fight, we come from the fight. Tupac got into it with another guy. It was a big fight. After that fight, after we stopped to a few places, we go to my house. I told Frank, I told all the security, I told everyone, Pac just beat up a well-known gang member. Send 4 or 5 guys extra to the house to escort Tupac to the club. Reggie Wright Jr. refused to send the security guys, refused to show up. That wasn't a coincidence. It was a murder for hire hit. We was blocked in. There was more than one shooter. Only person know the truth, the real truth, is me and Tupac. He's not there to tell it. Only person knows is myself. But Reggie Wright Jr. tried to change the whole story of the narrative, what actually happened, and he was not there. During that situation, Snoop, who everyone knew at the time, wanted Tupac dead. Snoop had a meeting with Daz, Corrupt, Nate Dogg, the Dog Pound. Said, we're not going to Vegas. This is their words, not mine. We're not going to Vegas because basically something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get killed, right? So Corrupt tells the story, Dash tells the story, Warren G tells the story. Now when Dad says, when Snoop said there after, damn, we can't go to Vegas, who's gonna get those niggas? They already gonna get got, basically. Corrupt tells the story and says, once he tell everybody they can't go to the fight and can't go to Vegas, turns around, Nate Dogg says, I'm gonna go to Vegas. And because I'm going to Vegas, I don't gotta be around basically me and Pac. He said, as long as I ain't around them, I don't have to worry about getting shot or getting a stray bullet. That lets you know, premeditated plan. Warren G says, when the fight was going on, he was watching at his house. Snoop came over to watch the fight. Snoop had a walkie-talkie. These walkie-talkie, he only got this walkie-talkie that I bought for security and the principal that security doing security with. And they worked on all the West Coast. So if you're an artist and you going to the mall or you going somewhere, they have a walkie-talkie, security have a walkie-talkie. If you're not going to an event with any of the security details, you don't have a walkie-talkie. Because I didn't buy that many because I wanted to be exclusive. They had them out who was needed. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so Snoop comes in, according to Warren G, and he got this big walkie-talkie. They start hearing the gunshots. When we getting shot, Snoop listening to it in real time. Pow, 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 all over the radio. That's when he tell him, hey, I gotta go. They just killed Tupac and shot Suge. How would you know? Nobody said that on the radio, you just heard the shots. Now, Reggie Wright Junior and Michael Moore in the car. They get on the radio, and they say, hey, got him.
Nah. Okay. Okay. There's a flag on the play. And get the likes up. We're doing great with the likes. Welcome to the new era, this new season. This is some hoe ass shit right here. How did he get every sequence of events from other people's perspective and the characters that play in this Vegas story? Warren G, Snoop Dogg, Michael Moore, right? How did it get from him getting every detail right
Let me just finish, Suge, by asking.
to everything wrong when him and Pac was getting shot at? Everything wrong. Everything. Wait. Right? This ninja, how did it go from him getting play-by-play where everybody else said correctly to getting everything wrong in the BMW with Pac?
Asking you this. You were there when one of the all-time most famous music icons was killed. You were sitting next to him. What was the last thing that Tupac said to you? Extraordinary. Let me just finish, Suge, by asking you this. You were there when one of the all-time most famous music icons was killed. You were sitting next to him. What was the last thing that Tupac said to you?
Well, the crazy thing about it, nobody followed us, nobody came, nobody come to help.
That was wrong.
And as we sitting there, I looking at him, he looking at me. I said, man, look, we ain't gonna go straight ahead this way to the hospital. I'm gonna do a U-turn, and we're gonna go to the hospital off of Las Vegas Boulevard. He said, why? I said, because it's more lights and more people.
Ridiculous.
And he said, well, let me drive. I said, I'm driving. He said, man, you bleeding all through your head. You can't see, I can see. And we was listening to oldies at first, but on the way towards the strip, he put in a song that said,
Oh my
he
God.
did it about me. And I said, I did. You know, that's me talking about you. The song, because you ain't never had a friend like that.
Pac fan said
I
that's
take
not
your
for
collect
you.
calls. You shot at the last Hennessy.
Pac fan said that's not for you, Suge.
We was listening to oldies at first, but on the way towards the strip, he put in a song that says, he did it about me. And I said, I did. You know, that's me talking about you. The song, because you ain't never had a friend like that. I take your collect calls. You shot at the last Hennessy. And as we riding down Las Vegas Boulevard, the police ran us off the divider and fucked the tires up and pulled guns on us and was talking about killing us.
Drop comments below.
So I always think about that. For a long
Yeah, the whole story, what Suge told the podcaster from the Epstein files, Pierce Morgan, what he told Pierce Morgan is totally different from what K-Dub stated. Totally different from what Frank Alexander stated. And oh shit. Again, the lies are going to backfire on these dudes, right? Why would Suge give Orlando Anderson $60K? Why would Reggie pretend that he was there? Reggie lied about and lied for Suge when it came to the $60K exchange to Orlando Anderson. I believe these guys are running out of lies. They're running out of time. Keefe D told the judge, whoop, whoop. Keefe D warned the judge, whoop, whoop. Keefe D said, listen, those pages, those boxes shouldn't be allowed in trial. Whoop, whoop. Those boxes, Greg Bacon had them in his attic, in his basement, right? I bet you Reggie Wright Jr. wish the judge listened to Keefe D now, right? Hey, oink, oink. Right? "21 Gun Salute." Let's take it back to Vegas key witness sounding all paranoid. Right? Let's take it back to Vegas key witness.
What I believe. One, you saw the other. Connected. But breaking news. Tupac and Biggie case is connected. Well, yeah, it's connected because one wouldn't happen if the other one didn't happen. That's the only way it's connected. But, you know, everybody's like, oh, this breaking news, this about to happen. Suge Knight was right when he said, you saw one, you saw the other. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we all thought. Southside had something to do with it. is why people used to run with that. But Suge knew the real.
Wait a minute, Pork, but how you speaking for Suge? He said, yo, we knew. Wait a minute. When since I didn't know a Pork, hey, Pork, but when did you learn French? Ninja. Hey, Pork, but when did you learn French, my mans? Oh, wait. When did you have time to take French classes? Huh? We. What? Wait. Is this for real? Oh, shit. Ninja, the time is ticking on the clock, right? You can report channels all you want. You and Mike Dorsey, all y'all want. Y'all can report channels, take them to court. The truth is, y'all lied. And y'all was lying for many, many years. That's the truth, Reg.
Well, yeah, it's connected because. Oh, John, you just like the rest of the YouTubers. Man, I done seen about 3 or 4 people doing videos like it's gonna be breaking news. Tupac and Biggie case is connected. Well, yeah, it's connected because one wouldn't happen if the other one didn't happen. That's the only way it's connected. But you know, everybody's like, "Oh, this breaking news. This about to happen." Suge Knight was right when he said, "You saw one, you saw the other."
Keep talking.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Yeah, because that's what we all thought. Southside had something to do with it. Is why people used to run with that.
Keep talking.
But Suge knew the real.
Suge knew the real. Keep talking.
Suge knew the real. It appears, if you believe what I believe about the murder rap findings with Greg Cadian's fight.
Oh, no.
Wow.
No, we don't believe you lying son of a biatches. No. Y'all some 304s. Y'all ninjas are some 304s. You see, Reg, we know your hands are involved with Biggie. Hey, Pork Butt. Oink, oink. Bro, we know your hands are involved with Biggie, and that was a retaliation for your boy Snoop Dogg, the Dog Pound, Snoop's father, you, and whoever else was in the New York trailer. You think we don't know, Reg? That was why Biggie is dead? The New York shooter? Why else? Niggas said, oh, Pac, he was dissing Pac on the radio, long kiss goodnight. Nah. West Coast ain't give a fuck about Pac that much. Let's be for real. This ninja Biggie called the radio. If I'm not mistaken, Biggie bragged about it a couple of times in the rhymes. He even took Snoop Dogg beats. Come on. It's obvious that the Biggie shooting was retaliation for the New York. It was just a matter of time before they put A, B, and C together. Reg, you already admitted and got comfortable that Bad Boy called you for security for Biggie and Puffy and them. That already implicated you way before Keefe D got the handcuffs on him and said, listen, if I go to jail for Pac, handcuff Suge Knight security next to me for Biggie, because I know he had his hands involved. Michael DeRoe. Is that in the 4,000 boxes, Reg? Only you would know. Reg, only you would know. Drop comments below. If you just tapping in, yeah, this Ninja Pork Butt, you sound nervous to me. You sound like when Ben Crump had you sweating, sweating pig grease.
Suge Knight was right when he said, you saw one, you saw the other. Breaking news. Tupac and Biggie case is connected. Well, yeah, it's connected because one wouldn't happen if the other one didn't happen. That's the only way it's connected.
What? Hey, Pork Butt, how did you know? Hey, Pork Butt, how did you know? Wait a minute. How did you know? One would have happened if the other ain't happened. How would you know? Who told you that, Reg? Just like Big Stretch. You know details only your orchestrators know. Ridiculous.
But, fuck. Because this is the real, y'all, of what's going on. Oh, John, you just like the rest of the YouTubers. Man, I done seen about...
That's the other driver.
3 or 4 people doing videos like it's going to be breaking news. Tupac and Biggie case is connected. Well, yeah, it's connected because one wouldn't happen if the other one didn't happen. That's the only way it's connected. But, you know, everybody's like, oh, this breaking news, this about to happen. Suge Knight was right when he said, you saw one, you saw the other. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we all thought. Southside had something to do with it, is why people used to run with that. But Suge knew the real. Suge knew the real, it appears, if you believe what I believe about the murder rap findings, what Greg Cadian's found.
I'm heading to Japan with A&A. Can't wait to experience their hospitality on the way to Japan. It's the little touches that count.
But, hey, y'all, I hate to bust y'all bubble. But, man, it's just discovery. That's just discovery. It's how you get in trouble in court. You don't turn over everything that's related to a case. That's why Keefe D was getting invested. Because early on in the investigation, they felt that the 2 crimes were related. That Keefe D had something to do with both. I'm telling y'all, up until about 2007, I believe that. I know a lot of y'all believe I had something to do with it. Okay, whatever, y'all, yeah, okay.
This shit is ridiculous. You ninjas need PRs. You don't need YouTube channels. You ninjas need PRs and attorneys. Because how do you know Suge believes the murder rap findings is just ridiculous? What key witness talks like this all on the internet? This is the only key witness in American history, in American legal history, that, is so invested in both cases that he orchestrated. Only the orchestrators can talk like this. Only the orchestrators. Just like you said about Big Stretch. You said, listen, people on the East Coast said, oh, Pac had nothing to do with the Big Stretch shooting because it was a drug deal going bad. Reggie Wright Junior says, look, y'all kill me when y'all say that. How y'all know his bro from West Side Piru ain't ordered the drugs from Big Stretch? And that's how they got him. Wow, Reg. Only the orchestrator or being down with the orchestrators can think like that. Can I get this one? I'm going to do a lifeline myself. Hold on. Because we know, and we believe that, yeah, Biggie was a retaliation. You keep saying that. Oh, retaliation. Oh, we thought Biggie was retaliation. Yeah, for the New York shooting. What else would they have to retaliate on Biggie about? Like, let's be for real. What did Biggie do to the West Coast that there's need for retaliation? Tupac? Knock it off. Please don't say Pac, because if that's the case, Puffy wouldn't be able to still reside on the West Coast in Los Angeles. Puffy got that mansion out there on the West that he got locked up with all the baby oil, and his bodyguard Gina Dill was right. Listen, that damn, they can't even get it on the screen. Oh, y'all dirt. Y'all dirt. Y'all dirt. Y'all dirt. Y'all dirt. Y'all dirt. Y'all should put it on the screen. I'm gonna have to revamp it. But hold on, I got a picture at least with Puffy, Biggie, and then I'm gonna introduce a new theory. How about that? Yesterday I introduced a new theory with Puffy and the Compton PD affidavit, and how Puffy knew that there was an affidavit from Compton PD. But wait a minute, why is Compton PD writing up an affidavit like they did Tupac for the Biggie case? Wait, hey, pork butt, oink, oink. I don't know who you think you're dealing with. I know y'all reported my channel and got my shit suspended. I know. And you got fake accounts trying to sneak diss me or whatever. Listen, man, I don't jack none of that shucking shit. This YouTube. Eventually, all my little subs will find discretion, right? And we gonna move forward. But you, pork butt, wait. We knew you had your hands involved with Biggie. It's just obvious. Reg, you were there. I'm looking for a picture with Biggie and them. I can't believe I can't find it. Reg, it's obvious. You believe Reggie Wright Junior. Shit, I'm glad that was a Pac picture. That could have been any random picture. Let me see. Can I get at least Reggie on the screen? Oh, this is dope right here. Yeah, the New York shooting, right? Yo, wait. Reg, you keep lying, and now your lie escalated again to we know. Now you know French. Ooh la la wee wee. No puff on the replay, right? You're saying even Suge knew it was Southside, and when it came to Biggie, y'all knew it was retaliation. Who told you that? Right? But hold on. Wow. Hold on, y'all. I'm doing a deep dive before I introduce this to you guys. I'm introducing a new theory, brand new theory. And this for you, pork butt. Hold on. Who distributed Tupac's song? Wow. Okay. So, okay. I got y'all. This is how devious, and this is why they wanted my channel out the fucking game. And I love it. I love it. Listen, I love it. I wouldn't have it no other way. No puff on the replay. But I would not have it no other way. Okay. So, I have a new theory. And this theory... 926. Because, hold on, this theory... Oh, I have a new theory. Hold on. I have a brand new theory, y'all. Okay, I'm just gonna y'all still with me? Give me some thumbs up if y'all still here. Okay. So give me some thumbs up if y'all still here. Sincerely Cat, what's good? Did I give any shout outs? His airness, what's good? What y'all dealing with? On Point, what's good? Marcus, Dub Allen. Yeah, I came to get a little busy tonight. I wasn't ignoring the audience, right? I came to get busy, right? If you just tap it in, Vegas Key Witness, he's at it again. This ninja, he don't stop, right? He do not stop. Vegas Key Witness, he's very nervous. If if you've been following these YouTube streets, right, bro, you know Vegas key witness, he's very nervous right now. He's replying to this shit like, okay, somebody gotta say, wait a minute, this shit for real. Shit like, oh, it's Dutch Discovery. And, you know, so why are you saying anything? No puff for the replay. So, oh, man. Okay, so I have a brand new theory I'm introducing. I've been thinking about this theory for about 3 days now. And my theory is Reggie said things that only the orchestrator of the Big Stretch shooting would know. Hold on, why can't I get the whole... Yeah, this is better, right? There you go. Reggie knows details about Big Stretch. Only the orchestrator would know. Reggie said Pac hugged him like he was Kadada. Reggie said the guy that's involved with the Big Stretch shooting, he's Westside Pyru. Reggie said, you know, ninjas from New York or the East Coast say, oh, Stretch, Pac ain't set Stretch up. It was a drug deal go bad. Reggie said this, Reggie said that. When you deep dive into the Big Stretch homicide, not only Death Row was behind the shooting, because Reggie said, listen, you East Coast ninjas always said, oh, y'all said Big Stretch died by a drug deal going bad. How you know the ninja from Westside Pyru ain't ordered those drugs and got him assassinated? But wait a minute. Not only did you say that, but there has to be a reason Suge would allow his head of security to go out there on a mission like that and allow the gun trafficking. Remember, oink oink, you're the gun trafficker, pork butt. You're the trafficker of Death Row. According to Suge, we still got the audio. According to Suge, it was your responsibility to traffic Big Jake guns to help Big Jake save his own life. Reggie Wright Junior ain't show up to ATL with Big Jake hammers. Now we dealing with a situation where, wait a minute, okay, thanks, Suge. Your boy, he's the gun trafficker. But wait a minute. Why would Suge Knight allow Westside Pyru? Y'all still here? Give me some thumbs up. Why would Suge Knight allow Westside Pyru to go to New York and touch Big Stretch on the same night Pac robbery? There had to be more than Pac was his little brother. When you deep dive, never talked about, Stretch was the producer of Tupac's song Pain. And those were royalties. Stretch was the producer of that song. And if Stretch was to get paid, it would have to be through Death Row. It's cheaper to plug Stretch. Come on, somebody. It's cheaper to plug Randy Walker than to pay him royalties from a track he produced for Tupac on a Death Row movie soundtrack. So, pork butt, you want to talk about Westside Pyru again and explain what happened to Big Stretch? Because there is motive why Suge Knight will want Big Stretch deceased. Drop comments below. If he ain't paid Tupac, you think he gonna pay a fucking Randy Walker? Drop comments below. If you think that these evil motherfuckers want to implicate Tupac in that such a way, and to make probably even had Pac thinking it was for him when they didn't want to pay Big Stretch. I did the work. Here go the work. All y'all got to do is find out how much Big Stretch would have earned from paying even after All Eyes on Me would have dropped or the shooting, whatever you want to think. Because we all know Pac music. We all know Pac music even after his demise and he left us in the physical. We all know Pac music was worth way more after he left. So, Reg, you want to talk about Big Stretch homicide again, bro? Oink, oink. Because we know was owed a lot of chicken from that above the rim and possibly even after. It's cheaper to plug Big Stretch than to pay him anything. So if you just happen in, we are talking about Keefe D telling the judge not to involve those homicide boxes from Greg Caden that was tampered with. Greg Bacon, as we know, he was an honors. Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely a new theory why they would want Big Stretch dead. Remember, we were the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever gonna be in the first season, right? And as we continue on the legacy, right? We continue on the legacy, right? They, these ninjas is funny on YouTube. They swear I created the body double theory. They swear I created a helicopter theory. And I'll tell y'all right now, I wasn't that talented. You hear me? I mean, I found the airport for you guys to add on to the legacy of the body double and the helicopter and Pac faking his death. But now that there's millions of dollars on the line, a missing murder weapon, missing money, and Lord knows a missing Cadillac, missing 40 cal, 2 French hens, 2 pork butts, 2 pork shoulders, right? Pork cock, Mikey, right? All kinds of motherfucking shit's going on in these YouTube streets. Lawsuits, who sues YouTubers, right? Mike Dorsey trying to bring me to Supreme Court of nomination. The Supreme Court, Mikey? All because y'all lied in them affidavits. Y'all are liars. It doesn't even matter to me. The like Reggie said, the real ones know the truth, right? And when you do a deep dive, the feds really need to step in. Even Russell Poole said it, y'all. Russell Poole said it. Let's play Pork Butt one more time in his confessions and dry snitching, implicating Suge. Suge don't want nothing to do with you no more. Hey, Pork Butt, don't you get it? Suge is like, look, sooner or later, you gonna say we got caught, Suge, come out the bushes. They'll puff on the replay.
What's going on? Oh, John, you just like the rest of the YouTubers. Man, I done seen about 3 or 4 people doing videos like it's gonna be breaking news. Tupac and Biggie case is connected. Well, yeah, it's connected because one wouldn't happen if the other one didn't happen. That's the only way it's connected. But everybody's like, oh, this breaking news, this about to happen. Suge Knight was right when he said, you saw one, you saw the other. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we all thought. Southside had something to do with it, is why people used to run with that. But Suge knew the real. Suge knew the real. It appears, if you believe what I believe about the murder rap findings or Greg Cadian's findings.
Oh my God! Stop saying Greg Caden, Reg. That's not gonna help you. Those 4,000 boxes. Keefe said, Your Honor, Greg Bacon had those boxes under his bed on the internet. The federal judge threw him out the court. Yo, stop bringing up Greg Bacon. Oh, shit. Can we play some Russell Poole real quick? Let's play Poole real quick. Poole was not fucking with these ninjas. Poole was on them.
Hi, Russell. We went to play Gene's interview to Russell. Hi. We've got this big tape recorder. Who have we got on today?
Yeah, it's great because eventually I think it's the journalists are going to end up solving this case because the police department aren't putting the effort in to first of all they're not listening to people. There are witnesses out there that the police never interviewed, and just pretty much figure the police right now aren't going to do it, but what we can do is force them to do it by coming up with the information ourselves and then getting it documented and then taking it to the right people. And I know a lot of people that are interested in doing something about it here in the judicial system. Anyway, it's just a couple of clues away from at least Tupac's case for sure. A lot of strong evidence on that. Right now, I feel because the journalism is still interested in the Biggie and the Tupac case, I believe that the journalists are going to be the ones to actually solve this case, because right now the police departments aren't interested in pursuing either case. I think it's great that the journalists and the people out there are still interested. As a matter of fact, we just got through on current TV. They had Biggie and Tupac on there just a couple hours ago, and my partner that I'm working with never saw it, so he watched it and thought it was interesting. But anyway, I found since I left LAPD that journalism has done an excellent job to keep these cases in the forefront.
Do you think that the LAPD's priority lies in solving these murders or burying the facts of these murders?
Well, I think they would like to, if there was a possibility to solve it, they'd like to get it out of their hair and get it solved. But I think that they believe, there's so many millions of pages and a lot of work over the years has been done. And there's lots of different clues, and I think any prosecutor that actually got the case would have to sift through all those files when it should be very simple. The murder case itself is just a very simple investigation, but when you have a high-profile case, you've got like files and files, which will become discovery at trial. So it's a nightmare for any prosecutor. And it's a nightmare for any detective. That's why you got to have a little bit extra on these cases. You got to have you got to have that smoking gun and able to present that case to a jury.
Do you foresee a prosecution in these cases?
With all the different clues and different theories that have been spoken about over the years, it will be a nightmare in trial. So that's why you almost need a smoking gun, so a judge can take a look at that and say, none of this other stuff is relevant. We're sticking with this. That's what they need to do, is streamline it. But right now, I believe prosecutors and police, and both Las Vegas and LAPD, I think they would love to have this thing solved, but it's a discovery nightmare. And also, you've had the Rampart scandal. You've had some corruption involved. So you're going to have, like, police officers saying that this is what happened, and then you're going to have other police officers saying, no, I don't think that happened that way. So you see how mixed it can be. You had certain leaders like Parks, and then you got Charlie Beck in there, and you had Bratton, and they all got different philosophies on the case. So,
Speaking on different philosophies, I wanted to ask you about a certain one.
okay.
There is a review on Amazon for a book called Murder Rap, written by a man named Greg Kading. In the review section, there is a scathing review from a detective, Russell Poole. Did you write that review?
What does the review say?
The review reads as follows. Greg Kading has no credibility on this subject matter. He became a task force member on the Biggie case 10 years after the fact. Kading left the LAPD in disgrace for his false testimony on a federal murder and racketeering case, United States versus George Torres Ramos, CRO 656A. Guilty verdicts were overturned in this part due to Kading's testimony. He said LAPD cleared him of those charges, but that is not entirely true. Kading also had some help writing this book from disgraced LA Times reporter Chuck Phillips. Kading forgets there are actual eyewitnesses to Biggie's killing. He spends a lot of time talking about things he knows nothing about. This is regarding my Biggie investigation. He makes a lot of not for the reasons Kading talks about. In closing, Kading never attempted to interview me regarding my Biggie investigation. He makes a lot of false statements about me and my part in the investigation. By CRO 656A. Guilty verdicts were overturned in this part due to Kading's testimony. He said LAPD cleared him of those charges, but that is not entirely true. Kading also had some help writing this book from disgraced LA Times reporter Chuck Phillips. Kading forgets actual eyewitnesses to Biggie's killing. He spends a lot of time talking about things he knows nothing about. This is a desperate attempt for Kading to salvage his reputation. Suge Knight is a suspect, but not for the reasons Kading talks about. In closing, Kading never attempted to interview me regarding my Biggie investigation. He makes a lot of false statements about me and my part in the investigation by retired LAPD homicide detective Russell Poole.
Yeah, I wrote that. And I stand by it. Yeah, I stand by that statement. Yeah, he has no credibility. I couldn't trust him to work with him on the police department. He's self-absorbed, just like the LA Times reporter Chuck Phillips, and they're working together on that book. He did. There's no question in my mind.
I feel personally that the LAPD has whitewashed the Christopher Wallace investigation by clearing Greg Kading in the Torres case. Do you feel that this has tainted the Christopher Wallace case?
Here's what happens when something like that happens, is they give him a choice to retire, resign, or leave, or we'll continue this investigation. Now, if they do an investigation, when he comes to federal court, he's representing not only the case that he's working, he's representing the Los Angeles Police Department. So internal affairs can conclude their investigation any way they want concluded. And he was forced to leave. And so in their conclusion, they figure they got nothing to lose. Okay, the suspects, it would be an embarrassment for the LAPD to reveal that their detective on this case was responsible for releasing this killer. Because you got to remember, this Kading worked on other cases. So if they were not to clear him and condemn him and this and that, they would have problems with all of his other cases. So it's a shame that that's the way the system is sometimes, but
in my opinion, they basically just cleared it on there. He's no longer on the police department, so they don't have to worry about him anymore. However, if they do an investigation and find he's a corrupt officer and he's lied on this, well, maybe he lied on all the other cases. They didn't want to open that can of worms.
Gregg has stated that he kept a copy of an alleged confession from Keefe D. Can he take that evidence with him when he is forced into retirement?
No, he's not supposed to. You're not, unless you have a good reason. Like I say, his motivation, of course, right from the get-go was to write this book, and I believe that he and Chuck Phillips wrote this book. I mean, the guy's just he's not an honest guy. And if you I've talked to the U.S. attorneys out here that had that Kading case, and he's like, his name is Mud in the law enforcement circles. Gregg Kading. He can't be trusted to testify in any case that he's involved in. I mean, that's one thing you can tell him. It says he lost his credibility when they had to release a convicted killer, and I guess he was a mobster, so they had to release him.
You are referring to George Torres, correct?
Yeah, George Torres.
21 gun salute. Drop comments below. So, Keefe D, again, he already told that judge those boxes, the Greg Bacon boxes, shouldn't be allowed in the courtroom. And the judge still allowed it. Russell Poole, the first lead detective, said, listen, he should have never took those boxes to make a book. So, I bet you Reggie Wright Junior prayed that, I bet you he wished that those boxes was never introduced to that courtroom, because now, look at this shit is about to hit the fan. I believe so. Russell Poole was very direct. He said he believed Suge Knight and Reggie Wright was involved with the Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah, I think it's the journalists who are going to end up solving this case, and it's a nightmare for any detective. That's why he would have problems with all of his other cases and building. If you can get all the people that talked to Tupac before his death, and then some Shakur case. I also believe his interview techniques are excellent, and a lot of the people that were interviewed were never interviewed by the police. When clues come in, you're supposed to follow up on these clues, and RJ knows that for a fact that they haven't really followed up on many leads. So I do believe that Suge Knight and Reggie Wright Junior are responsible. I think the evidence is clear for the Tupac Shakur case. I also many leads. So I do believe that Suge Knight and Reggie Wright Junior are responsible. I think the evidence is clear for the Tupac Shakur case. I also, when clues come in, you're supposed to follow up on these clues, and RJ knows that for a fact that they haven't really followed up on many leads. So I do believe that Suge Knight and Reggie Wright Junior are responsible. I think the evidence is clear for the Tupac Shakur case. I also, when clues come in, you're supposed to follow up on these clues, and RJ knows that for a fact that they haven't really followed up on many leads. So I do believe that Suge Knight and Reggie Wright Junior are responsible. I think the evidence is clear for the Tupac Shakur case. I also believe he's responsible. Both of them are responsible for the hit on Biggie also.
21 gun salute. 30 years later, I believe Russell Poole was correct with Suge Knight and Reggie Wright involved with the Pac. I keep on saying it. The missing murder weapon, the missing money, the missing Gridlock check, Suge, $700K. Where is it? The gang-related check, where did it go? The gang-related was projected to make $20 million. The soundtrack, another double album. Where did it go, Suge? Afina Shakur said, listen, you owe my son over $17 million. the day before Vegas. No, the day before the MTV Awards in New York. Somebody from Suge Knight's camp, whether it was Kenna, Suge, or Sharita Knight, made a purchase on September 3rd. Got those documents. We're going to go over them shits. I keep asking y'all, why was Compton PD involved with the investigation of Tupac, with the investigation of Biggie? Puffy said these ninjas made up an affidavit, a Compton PD affidavit, when it was LAPD case for Biggie. Come on, knock it off. Y'all thought we wasn't going to find out 30 years later? Right? Very damaging statements Reggie Wright said on his platform. Again.
And a lot of the people that were interviewed were never interviewed by the police. You know, when clues come in, you're supposed to follow up on these clues. And RJ knows that for a fact that they haven't really followed up on many leads. So I do believe that Suge Knight and Reggie Wright Junior are responsible. I think the evidence is clear for the Tupac Shakur case. I also believe he's responsible. Both of them are responsible for the hit on Biggie also. Yeah. But I think the evidence in Tupac is mounting and building. If you can get all the people that talked to Tupac before his death, and then some of the key people, Frank Alexander was a key person, but and a lot of his stuff is documented. You see what I mean? He's a key witness. And he's no longer here to testify on the stand in the case. So we need to take this case out of L.A., and we need to take the Tupac case out of Las Vegas, and we need to put something together and then go to somebody independent.
The feds. Go to the feds. But I don't even think Russell Poole trusts the feds. Right? I don't even think Poole trusts the feds. 30 years later, Russell Poole, his theory, what happened to his theory, what he believed happened to Pac and Biggie, is manifesting. And again, I don't believe what Reggie is trying to implicate on Suge to the murder crap findings of Greg Bacon. I don't think that's why Suge is guilty of anything with Biggie. If that's a major if, he had knowledge of the retaliation. I know Suge Knight, and please drop comments below on this. How did you feel? No, how do you think Suge Knight felt when Biggie called the radio on his #1 artist and his #1 rap group, Dog Pound? Drop comments below. How do you think that made Suge feel? Can we be honest?
Record.
How do you think Suge felt when Biggie called the radio on his #1 artist and told Brooklyn to stand up? Jimmy Henchman. Basically, Jimmy Henchman, stand up, and your crew. Right? A-Team, stand up. Right? Basically. Yeah, Biggie had to die for that, y'all. Let's go back to your man's Puff with this Compton PD affidavit for the Biggie case, and it's LAPD. This is LAPD homicide. Why is Puffy talking about a Compton PD affidavit?
Their relationship before that situation is that they were friends, and he would never do nothing, nor myself or anybody associated with me would have never done nothing to hurt him. And in fact, he had helped us when Biggie was first getting out there. They were together. He would let Biggie open dates for him, and I mean, he was appreciative, and I was appreciative, and it was a shock to us. And it's something that we tried our best to do anything to alleviate any type of negativities as far as that situation. That's why we never made any records. Going back, we never said any negative statements, and the statements that we did say was that we want a resolution to positive way. Everybody has to be accountable, even myself. I have to be accountable and have to be responsible to bring my son up the right way, and I have to be accountable and responsible for even the music that I put out. I have to do whatever I could do to put as much positivity out there. And it may, and I'm not talking about just going out and making a record to stop the violence. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about making records that give you a good feeling, making sure that I understand what's coming out of one of my artists' mouths and how I could use my intelligence and my wisdom of things that I've seen to try to make sure that you get your point across as an artist, but also at the same time, maybe you can say it another way and get your point across to where it won't look like you think this is all right, because this is not all right.
Could you give us anything specific? I mean, is there any specific time somebody has tried to do a rap that you've changed a little bit, or words have come out, the Time magazine and the LA Times have pointed out, people that we've talked to also, that Bad Boy Entertainment had actually hired Crips for security work out on the West Coast. Is that true?
We've never hired Crips or any other gang faction to do security for us. But the misconception is that because we're young and we black, like, we're not handling business just like anybody else. We're trying our best to handle business just like any other businessman that's out there in the world. And it would be extremely unintelligent to hire some gangs to do security for you. We have never hired any gangs for security. As a matter of fact, when we were out there, we had off-duty California police officers as security with us that night that it happened also. And we always have bonded security professionals that are with us.
I know Compton police have said that that's what they've heard from gang informants.
It's not the truth. I'm here to make sure I tell you the truth.
What is Compton informants? Not only is there's a Compton affidavit, Tim Brandon and his fuzzy friends, a.k.a. Blondie, right? Crooked ass cops, right? But these Compton informants.
Gangs for security. As a matter of fact, when we were out there, we had off-duty California police officers as security with us that night that it happened also. And we always have bonded security professionals that are with us.
I know Compton police have said that that's what they've heard from gang informants.
It's not the truth. I'm here to make sure I tell you the truth.
Is it possible that someone below you could have done this? I mean, maybe...
It's not possible. I have a small boutique label, and I take responsibility for everything that comes from my label. And I know for a fact that this is something that has never happened. And I heard your report about an affidavit from the Compton police, but I'm just here to say that it's not the truth.
No.
No one, and I see everything. I sign off on everything that's done.
Why, again, Reg, oink, oink. Why would there be a Compton PD affidavit written up on Bad Boy when it's a LAPD case? Oink, oink. It's LAPD case. Why is Compton PD creating an affidavit for Biggie? Y'all did the same thing for Vegas. It's Vegas case and Compton PD makes an affidavit for Vegas. It's obvious you and your father are behind a lot of this shit because it's your father that was making the phone calls also, right? It's your father, Reg, and you. I don't know what's the worst. I don't know what kind of sloppy business you ninjas is on. Some real 304 shit. No puff on the replay. With you two old ass 304s, sloppy work, dogs. Hey, oink, oink. Sloppy pig work. Because your father, he admitted to Detective Vlad in the Vlad Court of Law that, yeah, after the Biggie shooting, he called himself. No, he called back. He tried to make it seem like LAP. Can I play that? I was trying to play that 2 nights ago. I was trying to play this audio 2 nights ago. Reggie Wright Senior. And do I got that on the screen? Okay, hold on. I got.
He knew that he was hot. You know, he knew that. He ain't no dummy. So he was. It wasn't like he did a whole lot of things other than the incident that got him killed.
Right, and we'll talk about that. Okay, well then in 1997, Biggie is partying in LA, and as he's leaving an event, a car pulls up and starts to open fire, ends up killing him. And rumors start to spread, which never really got worked out. But when you first heard of Biggie getting killed in 97, were you hearing anything from informants or from your contacts about what had happened?
Yeah, we were hearing things, and basically the things I was hearing was also funneled to LAPD's investigative unit, and I think I might have been contacted by someone on that unit. I think I did.
That's a lie. Reggie Wright Sr., you contacted them because in the police report, can I put that on the screen? This is an easy debunk because I actually saw the document a few days. I actually put the document up on the screen yesterday. Not only did you lie about the Cadillac, Reggie Sr., but you lied about the sequence of events. What happened after, here we go, the document. What happened after Biggie got assassinated? Right? When you look at the arrow, did I get a good zoom in? There you go. This arrow, well, you can't really, you guys there in YouTube world will have to zoom in, but we can zoom in on this screen. If you see the arrow, it says Detective Balderrama and Chavez responded to Compton gang intelligence. Give me some thumbs up at least for that. I rolling my sleeves up. I'm like Jordan when he wore the 4-5. Right? This is a brand new franchise. I'm bringing the brand new franchise to the league. Right? While they try to figure out if they're going to bring back discretion or suspension, right? This is a brand new franchise, brand new fabric, right? What I'm saying is, listen to his words and listen and read what actually happened.
Were you hearing anything from informants or from your contacts about what had happened?
Yeah, we were hearing things, and basically the things I was hearing was also funneled to LAPD's investigative unit, and I think I might have been contacted by someone on that unit. I think I did, one of the officers, and relayed some of the information, and it was basically somebody in Suge's organization responsible.
Wow, drop comments below. So, oink, oink, your father, how did you know? The same thing, Vegas? Oh, y'all business is like, oh, shit. The same thing like Vegas? Oh, shit. Hey, Reg, how is that possible? I swear he's going to say, and the words on the street is, they going to kill Reggie for Biggie, too. Wait. Oink, oink. Are you shitting me, bro? How did you know? Somebody from Suge's circle? When everybody was screaming Amir Muhammad? Can we make this make sense? Even Gina Dill, that big bitch that was hiding behind, according to Mace, security was hiding behind the van after they called Reggie Wright for security for Biggie. They want to hide behind the van, the truck. According to Mace, security was hiding behind the truck, right? Even Gina Dill that big biatch, that big 304, Gina Dill, who got caught in a lie, talking about he chased the Impala, and the detectives told him you didn't chase the Impala. But he built his audience on lies. He's over there dancing because of the assassination of discretion first season. It's all good. I told y'all, 5 years from now, y'all wish there was a discretion. Told y'all. I was getting the fucking YouTube reports. This is why. A topic just like this. Reggie's father is a liar for Biggie, and he lied about the Pac. Why would he lie? If they wasn't involved with the Biggie homicide, right? Why would he lie and say, hey, somebody from LAPD contacted me? No, they did not. According to the police report, right? 3/13/97. Who sees? Give me some thumbs up if you see the date at least. I talked about this in the first season. This is a layup for me. March 13th, 97. Four days after Biggie was assassinated, according to the Arrow, when you read this document, Reggie Wright Sr. called LAPD and told him information about, he want to say it was about somebody from Suge's camp, the Poochie theory. But how did you know? How did y'all know? They were still trying to figure it out. We're talking about March 13th. Reggie Wright Sr. is trying to tell us that they already figured out the Biggie shooting and said it was somebody from Suge's camp. David Mack, who else? Amir Muhammad, I guess, and the Poochie theory. You pick who you want to pick. It doesn't matter if you say Poochie. It doesn't matter if you say Amir or Mac. For this crooked cop to call LAPD March 13, 4 days after Biggie, is suspect. And what else did they do? I told y'all in the first season of Discretion, Reggie Wright Sr., Reggie, your father, according to Keefe, your father, Reg, the day after Biggie was shot, your father, Reg, ran down on Keefe and said, y'all killed Biggie. Drop comments below. Why would he lie if they wasn't involved?
Was also funneled to LAPD.
A car pulls up and starts to open fire, ends up killing him. And rumors start to spread, which never really got worked out. But when you first heard of Biggie getting killed in 97, were you hearing anything from informants or from your contacts about what had happened?
Yeah. We were hearing things, and basically the things I was hearing was also funneled to LAPD's investigative unit. And I think I might have been contacted by someone on that unit. I think I did, one of the officers, and relayed some of the information. And it was basically somebody in Suge's organization responsible.
Well, according to Reggie, he believes that Wardell Foose,
Poochie,
aka Poochie, who's no longer alive, is the one who did it. He was the trigger man.
I'm convinced of that myself. I can't, just throw out a whole lot of evidence or whatever, but I think the LAPD subsequently got the correct information when they start focusing on Poochie, because that's what I was hearing in the street. But they were focusing on other things at the time. I think some Muslim guy or some friend of Mac or one of them or something. But they were focusing on that at the time. But I always heard it streetwise and believe it till the day it was Wardell Fouse, Poochie.
Okay, and did you know Poochie?
Very well.
Very well. So what was Poochie known for?
He was a hitter. Poochie was a stone cold killer.
Ridiculous. This shit.
He was a hitman.
This shit is ridiculous. I believe the Poochie homicide needs to be federalized, just like rest in peace Gaddafi, Buntry, Heron, Hen Dog, Vince Buchanan, Orlando Anderson, Tupac, Biggie. All these homicides needs to be in the hands of the FBI or some kind of agency that actually want to do the real work. Vegas shouldn't be dealing with this case. It's too many lies. They got Vegas key witness who lied in the Biggie and Pac investigation. They tampered with the evidence. They called in when it wasn't even their homicide case and gave details. You know, a lot of fuckery a lot of bullshit. It's nonsense. It's a shit show. And then they get mad when the first season of Discretion, we called Keefe D's attorney and say, hey, look, that wasn't Keefe D's nephew getting jumped. All hell broke loose. Y'all see, there ain't no discretion when you type it in. Well, there's a new one, but all hell broke loose when I called Keefe D's attorney and said, hey, look, there's no 13 on that ninja. That's not Keefe D's nephew. If you just tapping in, Reggie Wright Junior, again, I believe Russell Poole. Russell Poole, he had it right. They kept on trying to change his mind because they made documentary. RJ Pork Shoulder was, influencing Russell Poole to change his narrative. A few of those people in Russell Poole's circle, they couldn't stand on all 10. They didn't even read the audit. That audit was Suge Knight was stealing the money and David Kenner was stealing the money. That was enough for me. You follow the money that Suge Knight stole and owed Tupac outweighed Puffy's $1 million dream or his $2 million dream, right? That shit, what Suge Knight was stealing from Pac trumps Puffy's $1 million fucking hit. It does. According to the professionals that analyzed the shooting, Suge Knight was fortunate that the shooter shot low, real low. Yeah, I bet. That's a shooting they did before because Biggie Smalls, 6 months later, the same drive-by style. And nobody else got hit. Drop comments below. If you mean to tell me in the wild, wild west out there with these crooked cops and doorbusters, right? You mean to tell me not once, but twice and 3 times, right after that was Kevin Gaines, that these doorbusters, right, doorbuster block deals, where these ninjas were up to, they was competing with each other, who could shoot up the door the best, right? Biggie Smalls, truck full load of motherfuckers from New York and a crooked cop. A truck full load of motherfuckers in that Biggie truck. You hear me? A truck full of ninjas in that motherfucking truck, and only Biggie got hit? Nah. That Pac shooting was a breeze. You hear me? That Tupac shooting was a breeze. It's possible. Was there a body double? Was there a helicopter? I see a person dressed just like Pac in the MGM. What the fuck I didn't introduce the helicopter theory and the body double theory to the YouTube world. I didn't. I gave it a safe haven zone and they still was mad. In this new season, we saying, look, in my deep dive in the Biggie Smalls case, Reggie Wright Junior and Snoop Dogg, they wanted Biggie dead. Retaliation. They keep on saying it. The only time they want, listen, Kenya Ware She said they shot my radio. Can you wear mad at me for leaking that, hey, Sharita Knight lied and Kevin Gaines wasn't with her during the Tupac shooting? Kevin Gaines was there on a special assignment. Kevin Gaines was Snoop Dogg's security. Kevin Gaines was Snoop Dogg's hitman. Kevin Gaines was getting paid by Snoop, and Kevin Gaines' name keep popping up. Kevin Gaines was driving Sharita Knight's car when the night Biggie died. It looks like it was on surveillance, but not only that, he was driving the boss's wife SUV. So again, when Suge Knight was saying same circle of people, it's the same circle. I believe only somebody that was down with the orchestrators would know this shit. Suge only talk when it was convenient, when Pooh died. He ain't talking 9-6. He want to talk when Pooh kicked the can and got assassinated and his life snuffed out. That's when Suge was ready to talk. You don't trust a ninja like that. Why you ain't been say something? You wait to the lead detective? Okay, and even after that, what happened? What really happened, Suge, the night Tupac got shot? We already know what happened to Biggie. That was a retaliation with Dog Pound. Snoop kept hunting Biggie down. Snoop kept looking for Biggie. That New York shooting, I'm telling you now. I was in LA for 3 fucking years, and them motherfuckers don't play that shit. They don't play that shit, y'all. Reggie Wright Junior said he believed in an eye for an eye. Reggie believes in an eye for an eye. What y'all thought, Biggie was going to get away with that? Biggie, according to Snoop, he gave 3 or 4 different narratives of running down on Biggie. He told Angie Martinez, I ran down on Biggie, and I said, I know you send that hit, cuz I forgive you. Angie Martinez said, and he ain't try to clean it up. Snoop said he couldn't say nothing. I heard it myself. If you think for 1 second that Snoop Dogg was going to allow Biggie to get away with that shooting when Reggie Wright Jr. himself was there. He was there, y'all. That's why Reggie don't talk about that. According to Reggie's father, my son was there. If you think Reggie Wright Jr. was going to allow Biggie to get away with that shooting. Remember, at the Soul Train Awards, Reggie Wright Jr. he tried to implicate Pac at the 9-6 Soul Train Awards when Pac ran Bad Boy out of Cali and Gina Dill, that big bitch. They was ran out of fucking Cali. Gina Dill was ran out of Cali. Okay? Him and Bad Boy, according to Little Cheese, they was banging death row chains, death row pendants on the limo. Biggie was like, get us out this lot. Pac ran him out of Cali. Then Pac went to the radio and was like, we just chased them bad boy bitches out of here. According to Reggie Wright Jr., Pac tried to grab his gun to blast at C Gutter or whoever it was, or to aim it, or why would you implicate Pac like that? But let's dig a little deeper. That's Reggie on the cleanup attempt, because he probably pulled out his gun and he wanted to shoot Biggie. They was not going to allow Biggie to get away with that shit. If you think for 1 second Biggie not only called a radio and there was a shooting, and according to Reggie Wright Sr., Reggie Wright Sr. changed the whole narrative of what happened after. He said, oh, the cops was involved. Trey D said there was no cops involved. Somebody said if there was no cops involved, according to Trey D, did a shooting really happen? I don't know. What we do know is Reggie Wright Sr., he puts his son in the New York shooting. Why he never talk about that himself? Like how he talk about the Big Stretch shooting. Drop comments below. Biggie kept on getting on the fucking radio, even in LA, when he did the Long Kiss Goodnight and you nobody till somebody kill you, right? He was freestyling, right? He was disrespecting Pac in those songs. He sang those songs. Biggie kept fucking with the radio, bro. Right? There was no way for him to survive. T Jeezy was good. His earnest. Yeah, that's another deep dive. The Trey D and Snoop Dogg beef. Yeah, the saga continues. Thank you for getting the likes up. If you didn't like yet, new season of discretion. Pork butt. Let's play Reggie's confession one more time. Let's play his confession one more time before I end this live show.
Southside had something to do with it. Is breaking news. Tupac and Biggie case is connected. Well, yeah, it's connected because one wouldn't happen if the other one didn't happen. That's the only way it's connected. But, you know, everybody's like, oh, this breaking news, this about to happen. Suge Knight was right when he said, you saw one, you saw the other. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we all thought. Southside had something to do with it, is why people used to run with that. But Suge knew the real. Suge knew the real, it appears, if you believe what I believe about the murder rap findings, what Greg Cadian's found. But, hey, y'all, I hate to bust y'all bubble. But man, it's just discovery. That's just discovery. It's how you get in trouble in court. If you don't turn over everything that's related to a case. That's why Keefe D was getting invested. Because early on in the investigation, they felt that the two crimes were related. That Keefe D had something to do with both. I'm telling y'all.
But wait a minute, Raj. Wait a minute. If that's the case, Raj, get ready for your handcuffs. If they felt already before they arrested Keefe D, pork butt, oink, oink, I would say get ready for those handcuffs. Because Keefe D, he said, if I go to jail for Pac, handcuff Reggie next to me for Biggie.
That's how you get in trouble in court. You don't turn over everything that's related to a case. That's why Keefe D was getting invested. Because early on in the investigation, they felt that the two crimes were related. That Keefe D had something to do with both. I'm telling y'all, up until about 2007, I believe that. I know a lot of y'all believe that.
No, this don't make no sense, Reg. This don't, according to Reggie, he said we and Suge, they believe the murder crap theory. What? When did you and Suge discuss this? Greg Caden, he never spoke to Suge in his life. And Suge is an alleged victim. Wait a minute.
Outside had something to do with it. But, 3 or 4 people doing videos like it's going to be breaking news. Tupac and Biggie case is connected. Well, yeah, it's connected because one wouldn't happen if the other one didn't happen. That's the only way it's connected. But, you know, everybody's like, oh, this breaking news, this about to happen. Suge Knight was right when he said, you saw one, you saw the other. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we all thought. Southside had something to do with it, is why people used to run with that. But Suge knew the real. Suge knew the real, it appears, if you believe what I believe about the murder rap findings, what Greg Cadian's found. But hey, y'all, I hate to bust y'all bubble.
No, that don't make no sense, Reg. What do you mean Suge knew the deal?
Suge knew the real. Suge knew the real, it appears. Breaking news, this about to happen. Suge Knight was right when he said, you saw one, you saw the other. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we all thought. Southside had something to do with it. Is why people used to run with that. But Suge knew the real. If you believe what I believe about the murder rap findings with Greg Cadian found. But hey, y'all, I hate to bust y'all bubble. But man, it's just discovery. That's discovery. It's how you get in trouble in court. You don't turn over everything.
Hey, Pork Boy, why you sound like you got diaper shit on in your wheelchair? Doesn't he sound like he's in a bunch of diaper shit?
Man, it's just discovery. That's just discovery. It's how you get in trouble in court. You don't turn over everything that's related to a case. That's why Keefe D was getting invested. Because early on in the investigation, they felt that the two crimes were related. That Keefe D had something to do with both. I'm telling y'all, up until about 2007, I believe that. I know a lot of y'all believe I had something to do with it. Okay, whatever, y'all, yeah, okay. But I felt 2000, yeah, it might have been a little later, 2008, that they were, related, that Keefe D and them killed Biggie because of non-payment. That's what I felt. But we learned different later on in life. After, like I just said, from the murder rap investigation. After the findings of murder rap, we learned different. And so that's all, y'all.
Ninja, murder crap is filled with lies. Even Neckbone said, I didn't chase the Cadillac with Buntry. That was a lie. Okay, the police report says Mama James was at Flamingo and Koval in the van, not a 6'6" Deuce. But in the murder crap, the same documentary, you got the truth on the police report, and you got Mama James with a lie. That's why he can't even mention Buntry, Kenya Ware, Neckbone. Mama James didn't see nobody, and nobody saw him. Drop comments below. The murder crap, Reg, are you fucking shitting me? Mike Dorsey, Porcock, who's suing me? You want us to believe anything that channel put out? When Reggie Wright Senior waited until that interview to tell what really happened to the Orlando Anderson, that it was a drive-by. It wasn't Orlando, what Tim Brandon was saying, Orlando died by running up on some cats like, yo, what's good, from Corner Pocket. And some other cats seen Orlando doing like, yo, why you jamming them up? Blondie said a shootout happened after that. That was a lie. According to Reggie Wright Sr., when you look at Orlando Anderson's truck, that shit looked like Vegas and Biggie. Do I got a picture of that for this new season? Right? Reg, the only person, according to your father, that Southside Crips wanted to harm were you. He said, he told Detective Vlad in the Vlad Court of Law, he said, and the word was, when my chief took me off the case, the word was they was going to kill Reggie. Why? Why your informants, which was your son, Reggie Sr., why? Why was your informants telling you anything about your son getting plugged? It didn't make no sense. Hold on, I'm looking for Orlando Anderson's car. Y'all got me still working. If you just tapping in, Reggie Wright Junior, Vegas key witness. He sounds nervous. He sounds like he got diaper shit. I'm looking for Orlando Anderson's truck. Because I believe Orlando, his homicide, is this a good picture? I believe Orlando Anderson's homicide should be federalized and reopened because nothing adds up. If the cops lie about details of any shooting, is a major red flag. These Compton cops who were there when Orlando Anderson was brought in, and they were there when Orlando Anderson was assassinated, major red flag on the play, ref. Okay, where the fuck? Oh my God. All right, maybe scroll past it. I'm trying to just show y'all Orlando's truck. Just to make this make sense, even the Orlando Anderson truck theory, the way they lied. Is this it? That's a picture of it, but there's a picture of Orlando's truck with the stickers under the bullet holes, like how the BMW and Biggie and the Biggie Suburban. Where is that? Where is that? Where is that? I'm gonna have to make case files. So many like documents and pictures. Oh no, I don't think I could find it through here, y'all. Nah, I don't think. It's probably on my other device. No puff on the replay. Oh, here we go. There you go. This is Orlando Anderson's truck, y'all. This is the best picture I can find. When you look at Orlando's truck and how it looks like it was a drive-by style done, like Vegas, Biggie, Kevin Gaines, even Heron, his shooting was like real suspect. Yeah, you can tell by those stickers on Orlando's door is just similar to like the Vegas shooting. Even the tires of Orlando's truck was shot out. If you just tap it in, yeah, Vegas key witness. Reg, I don't think this was smart to say. And your reply to these 400 pages is real suspect. Let's run this back. Let's run this back real quick. Can I get Reggie on the screen? Right? Because, Reggie, you funny to me. You don't talk about the missing 40 caliber? You talk about the discovery. You talk about everything else under the sun, Reg. But what about you and Suge Knight got rid of the murder weapon?
That's how you get in trouble in court. You don't turn over every connected. But, you know, everybody's like, oh, this breaking news, this about to happen. Suge Knight was right. When he said, you saw one, you saw the other. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we all thought. Southside had something to do with it. Is why people used to run with.
But wait a minute, Reg. Every time I hear you talk, I could debunk you. Everything that comes out your mouth, no puff on the replay, pork butt, oink oink, I can debunk you. When Suge said, and I played the audio earlier, I'm glad I'm still alive. When Suge said, you solve one, you solve the other, bro, he wasn't talking about Southside Crips. When he was saying same circle of people, Reg, he was talking about Perez, you, and Sharita. So you want to repeat that? Just like your big stretch theory? Hey, pork butt, if you think your audience is my audience, you got two different... You had better assassinated the first season of Discretion. Are you shitting me? If you want us to believe that Suge Knight was saying you solve one, you solve the other, it was for the Southside Crips, come on, man. Who you think you talking to? We studied this shit.
Oh, John, you just like the rest of the...
I'm gonna stop there for a minute because it also tells you to
The YouTubers. Man, I done seen about 3 or 4 people doing videos like it's gonna be breaking news. Tupac and Biggie case is connected. Well, yeah, it's connected because one wouldn't happen if the other didn't happen. That's the only way it's connected. But, you know, everybody's like, oh, this breaking news, this about to happen. Suge Knight was right. When he said, you saw one, you saw the other. Okay. Yeah, because that's what we all thought. Southside had something to do with it. Is why people used to run with that. But Suge knew the real. Suge knew the real, it appears, if you believe what I believe about the murder rap findings, what Greg Cadian's found. But, hey, y'all, I hate to bust y'all bubble. But, man, it's just discovery. That's just discovery. It's how you get in trouble in court. You don't turn over everything that's related to a case. That's why Keefe D was getting invested. Because early on in the investigation, they felt that the 2 crimes were...
Hey, pork butt, you sound like you got soggy diapers. And it's annoying as fuck. He said that's why Keefe D was getting invested. Invested? Do you know what the word invested means, bro? You mean investigated. I could tell you nervous. You just saying anything, pork butt. Oink, oink.
Man, it's just discovery. That's just discovery. So you get in trouble in court. You don't turn over everything that's related to a case. That's why Keefe D was getting invested. Because early on in the investigation, they felt that the 2 crimes were related. And Keefe D had something to do with both. I'm telling y'all, up until about 2007, I believe that. I know a lot of y'all had something to do with, okay, whatever, y'all, yeah, okay. But I felt 2000, yeah, it might have been a little later, 2008, that they were, related, that Keefe D and them killed Biggie because of non-payment. That's what I felt. But we learned different later on in life. After, like I just said, from the murder rap investigation. You know, after the findings of murder rap, we learned different.
Well, Reg, after Detective Vlad told Keefe D that, you know, Reggie Wright Jr. called him and told him that Vegas is planning to arrest you. And when Keefe D heard that, Reg, he said, well, handcuff Reggie next to me for Biggie if I go to jail for Tupac, because I know he had his hands involved. And I believe, Reg, you know, the fact that you're talking with shitty diapers on at this era in the game, even without a discretion TV, right? You're so worried about discretion, right? Calling the DA on you live on air with 300. Well, I ain't called the DA, Keefe D's attorney to be more exact, right? Live on air though. Everything was live on air. You panicked. Shit crazy. All right, y'all. I'ma definitely tap in with y'all, and we're gonna keep on a neck. To my ninjas on the run eating, y'all stay safe out there. You hear me? I see y'all. Thank y'all for telling people to get the likes up to his airness. Thank you, Marcus, Solo, Little Jones, Chico, TGZ. Yeah, man, the new Discretion 304 TV. These ninjas are some hoes. Reg, you the biggest hoe out here on these YouTube streets. Then it's your co-host, John Hyland, who got pregnant by Cedric Garland, John Hyland Garland. My real ninjas, we up out. Y'all be safe out there.